Hello, you beautiful and wondrous beings. Welcome to another Dragons Love Cacao Oracle reading. There isn't any cacao present in the reading today, but honestly, you know that cacao works through me and through all of us if we're connected to that frequency, that beautiful dragon mama. So if you would like to make a cup of cacao and get cozy with me and open your heart even wider, even that much more, for this beautiful, intimate little dragon update and equinox special reading. Pause the video if you need to. If you're all ready to go, then I would invite you to just breathe with me for a few moments as this wooden candle, well, it's a wooden wick candle, I should say, called Hot Springs, begins to really fill our aura. It's got cedar, sage, galbanum, and wet clay. So it smells extremely earthy with like a tint of that feel of going camping. It must be the cedar in here. And I love it because this company is called Good Well Supply Co. So good and well, this is your reminder that not only are you good, you are so connected to the well, like the wellspring of the divine mother, of the divine dragon mama that hosts us on this planet, which is Gaia, Pachamama. And let's get into the reading. We're gonna do 3 decks as in pick a deck. So I'm gonna put an image here and you're going to tune into your heart space, take a few breaths, really choose based, it was 222 when I said that, really choose based on your feeling. Use the divine feminine gifts, even if you're a male watching this, and feel your way to the messages that are for you. So we're gonna start with deck number 1 here. Each deck is going to have a different goddess or divine feminine overarching energy, but we're gonna start with the dragon message first for deck number 1, and then we'll move into the goddess because woo, it's been a serpentine mission today in the best way possible. I have so many messages to share. The grid is so alive, you guys. The grid is juicy. The grid is ripe for us to work with. And our dragon message from the Star Dragons Tarot, Star Dragons Oracle, I should say, is grief. And I just put this card away. It was part of a message, like an oracle pull I did for myself last week sometime. And it says accepting loss, with all of these skulls kind of lining the neck of the dragon. And even all the way to the heart, the chest, if you could see the dragon heart is even made up of all of these skulls, like the former selves of you. Your former selves make up the dragon of grief. Because when we do lose something, accepting loss, so when we lose a part of ourself, because it's time to allow that peace to settle, to rest, to go back into the earth, you know, with winter and become part of the earth once again. So that former self, that death frequency with the period of winter is now over. And the grief, it's up to you, but the grief is also over. You are now aligning with what happens after grief, what happens after death, what happens after loss, which is the comeback, which is the breakthrough, which is the miracles and the divine essence of your dragon self coming back stronger, coming back or coming through clearer, and also streaming from a higher place, streaming from a higher bandwidth. So this means you've cleared enough, you've made the space, and now new energies are coming in. New connections are being made with the dragons. Oh my gosh, I have this crazy itch right here. That is a weird placement for an itch. So sorry, don't know what that is about. Very, very strange. Never happens ever. But just take some breaths here, because I would like 1 to 2 more dragon messages from the star dragon, and they're not really coming out. So just breathe, you know. Understand that the grief card is actually good news. It's not like you've done anything wrong. It's not like you're not on track. It means quite literally you are so on track that you moved through that process beautifully, and you faced a lot of shadow, and you faced a lot of former selves, right? The masks that you wore, the demons that were in your closet, or, you know, in you, in your temple, perhaps even parasites, perhaps even a lot of like takers that were in your life that you had to also release and allow to continue on their path, while you continued to have your heart aligned with your dragon path, with your North Star, with the head of the dragon. Like, where are we going from here, right? Not reverting back. Where are we going from here? What are we creating that's new? And the card that came out is protection. The dragon finding what's important. So after the grief, after the death, when the breakthrough is underway, you start to see what's important. You start to realize, I am the center of this dragon story. I am the altar at which to worship for a time. This is the constellation Ara, and the constellation Ara is the altar. So in the sky, there's a reflection, a mirror for you of a devotional space, an altar space in the sky. And what it's showing to you is during this next cycle of time, about until the solstice that's coming up. So whichever solstice that's for you, either winter or summer. But in June, you're going to see the completion of this kind of energy of needing to focus on your altar, needing to focus on yourself as the most important temple, the most important goddess, the most important divine feminine emanation, even if you are a male. So what I'm getting here is, what I'm getting at is that even the men are being asked to really tune into their divine feminine energy, to their divine feminine lineage guides and carriers, like the beings that are, you know, great-grandmothers, great-great-great-great-great-grandmothers, perhaps mothers, perhaps daughters, you know, women in your lineage, if you are a male, that hold these pure codes of the Ma, of the divine feminine. Because these are the codes that are going to be most relevant for you to work with in this next cycle. It's like you're devoting yourself, you're at the temple space. Remember, the temple space and the altar within the temple. So let's say the altar is the heart, the temple is your whole body system, all of your chakras, your whole being, your human, your divinity, all, and your dragon, all mixed up into one. But the altar is your heart chakra, your dragon heart. And you're going to need to worship at that altar. You're going to need to pray, kneel, spend some time, devote yourself, shed some tears, because we got the QUAN YIN card, Sweeping Sister Willow. And the willow tree is often associated, at least in this deck, it's associated with, again, grief, like tears. A little bit of that nostalgia or sadness that wants to come out, is coming out, or has come out. And even if you feel like, I already did that, like, just go sit with a tree. Go sit with a tree that you can, you know, connect to the willow energy through that tree, because all trees are connected, doesn't matter what kind of tree it is. But ask for the willow spirit to come through the tree that you sit with and say, I would just like to see if anything else wants to move through and be gifted back to the earth, because the earth, the trees, the mother, the waters, they take all of it and they transmute it. They are the best alchemists when we cannot actively do the alchemy inside of us. We can offer that prayer to the spirits of the land, to the ancestors, to the mother herself, the planet, our dragons, all of our allies, like the elementals, the fae, inner earth, crystal kingdom realm, the plant realm. We'll see if there's any plant messages for you. I have a plant herbal astrology oracle card that I'm going to use. But just know that your energy, your goddess was QUAN YIN, which is very different than the other two decks that I'm going to use for the other two pick-a cards. But I wanted a couple more cards from QUAN YIN. So we have Turquoise Lotus Mother and Sound the Fierce Flute. And what I love about these two cards is that they both are connected to the throat chakra. Turquoise being the frequency of Hathor. A lot of the divine goddesses that work with sound would wear turquoise. A lot of the divine mothers are associated with turquoise. I'd say Mother Mary has a connection with turquoise. I would say a lot of the water goddesses would definitely, so QUAN YIN obviously, green Tara perhaps, so there might be a desire to buy a turquoise stone or to wear turquoise colored clothing or accessories, or to just notice more moments in your day-to-day when something like vibrant and turquoise is in your field, because that's a reminder. QUAN YIN is asking you, activate your throat. Use your voice for truth. Sound the fierce flute. Sound your instrument, which is your voice, or your instrument if you're a musician, or if you like music and you dabble in that. Perhaps you might need to get a flute or something that's going to accompany your voice in singing activations. Because now is a beautiful portal. This year of 2024 is high for me personally, so I feel to share that anybody that is connected with my energy in some way, those of you that are resonant with all this dragon upgrades and all of that, it makes sense that I share this. Like, this is a year of sound for me. This is a year of, all right, we're gonna upgrade this baby. We are going to see what is possible from this space. Not only from the speaking place, like, yes, I'm gonna speak more truth. Yes, I'm going to be my divine self in the face of anybody or everybody, even if it makes people uncomfortable, or even if it's not understood, you know, my energy, my frequency, my codes. So even if you are not understood, even if it's hard at first, or there is like a little bit of a barrier that you have to break through in order to sound, in order to be and vibrate more at your true dragon frequency. Some of you may actually want to connect with the lotus in meditation, or so the spirit of the lotus, calling in that flower, maybe getting an image of the flower printed or drawing it or finding it in the world if it's possible to buy a lotus tea and charge it up at your altar for the next, I'd say, 3 months. And close to the solstice is when you're going to actually align with drinking that. But you got to charge that baby up at your altar space in your home, and you have to speak to it and you have to listen to it and you have to go on this journey with lotus, blue lotus specifically. So take that as it resonates, but blue lotus or the oil, if you don't want to drink the tea, buy an oil, an essential oil of blue lotus, and charge it up for 3 long months. Trust me, they will fly by, and you will remember me and be like, oh, I gotta take that blue lotus. I got to sit with that medicine and see what's gonna come of it, you know? Because, okay, Bobinsana, because what the lotus is going to do for you. So this is the herbal astrology oracle card for you, and I have never picked this song, sorry, this energy before from this deck, but I work with Bobinsana, and Bobinsana is a plant about the voice. Yes, it's a heart healing plant as well. It's a, let's crack open your heart, let's, like a little fan, like a joyful little Asian fan, you know, like a coy little something a geisha would use. That's kind of how the flowers feel when you sit with them, if you're lucky to encounter Bobinsana in nature. But if you are able to align with calling in this medicine in a tincture or in a powder form, and if you would like some guidance on where to get some of that, I can provide some resources. You just gotta message me. But the Bobinsana is a medicine about releasing your song, like your whale or your dolphin or your siren mermaid call. Even if you are a man, there's something more to your voice, to your frequency, that you need to trust in. And number 8, you need to trust. So I'm hearing around the time of the month 8 this year, so August, you're gonna trust that what happens between now and then is divine. It's a divine activation of your turquoise or your throat chakra power, your power to emanate like amazing DNA activations for others from your heart and your song. So there's a whale here depicted. I already said Bobinsana is definitely connected to the waters, the rivers specifically. They call her the Little Mermaid in some traditions, la Sirenita, Sirenita Bobinsana. If you haven't listened to my podcast episode about Bobinsana, that also may be an activation for you. So I'm going to leave that in the description, that link. And yeah, I'm holding these crystal skull cards, so I think that that's going to be your closing energy. Just take a couple of breaths here with me. We're going to slow it down for one final message, because that was a lot streaming in. And there went the cards. 3 dragon skulls. Well, they're not all dragon skulls. They're mostly crystal skulls with a couple of dragons in there. Okay, so you got trust twice. You got the dragon, sorry, the crystal skull. Apparently this is a dragon crystal skull. It doesn't look like it, but this is the frequency that I'm being shown. This is a dragon of trust in crystal skull form. And Bobinsana is a serpent of trust, a water serpent of trust. So you have 2 dragons or 2 serpents to play with between now and the solstice. And these are going to be some of the most beautiful months of your life. of getting to know your dragon energy in a new and glorious fashion. Like you're just going to be, so here's the rebirth card, which again, after grief or after death, which I said at the beginning, comes the breakthrough, comes the rebirth. And final card is Gaia. The rebirth is what brings through the possibility of being, the possibility and also the likelihood. Like it's more than likely that you are going to be an earth guardian and grid worker who has a lot to offer this planet in your respective part of the world. That means you don't have to necessarily travel anywhere. You may do most of your work just anchored where you are, making sure that your throat chakra is like the star of your year or maybe even your decade. And I think some of you, you know this, like in your heart of hearts, you know that sound is your thing. You possibly have just made that wish and then let it go. And you wanted to see when it would come back to you. And it's coming back. This is the moment. This is the moment that you get to crystallize the gift of your throat chakra. That's your reading. Drink some water or your cacao or tea to crystallize the frequencies. I love you, and I will see you on the next transmission. All right. You beautiful and wondrous beings who chose deck number 2. I'm going to just, I haven't stopped the video. I'm just flowing from one deck into the next. So I'm just clearing with this beautiful pelican feather so that we have our own energy, our own transmission. You know, sometimes I watch all of the decks when somebody else is doing one of these readings, and maybe not all of them in the same day, but I'll come back and I'll tune into different decks. So you might be inclined to check out deck number 1 at some point. It was a really beautiful deck. But if not, just tune into your heart right now. Your message is number 2. So already I'm getting this frequency of divine union, perhaps. Perhaps it's you. Yeah, praying for guidance from the divine. And the beautiful goddess card that you are working with, or the goddess deck I should say, is the Mother Mary deck. So you have Our Lady who gives peace, and you have Our Lady with the moon at her feet. Our Lady with the moon at her feet, Our Lady who gives peace. Both of these cards have this bird energy. This one quite literally has a bird's nest with eggs and the beautiful white bird here and the blossoms, like a spring energy to it. This card has subtle birds flying around, smaller, kind of look like, yeah, like little doves or something flying above this version of Mother Mary. But there's definitely a red rose connection in this image. Lots of red roses crowning her, around here at her. This kind of tree that's depicted on her, this tree that is ablaze with a big heart right there. So what I'm feeling is your tree of life, like your technology, your chakra system is lit from the inside out. And it makes so much sense because the reason why I was getting that energy of 2 being like something about divine union is because your heart is ablaze, like your passion is on fire. Your spirit is on fire, and that means it catches. That means it catches somebody else's attention. That means it may light somebody else nearby, and or call them to your flame like a moth to a flame. And it just may be your time. It just may be your time, you know, in the year of 2024 to really settle in the best way possible, like settle into a divine union passionately, like with a lot of fire. I'm talking about a lot of sex and magic and medicine and travel. This sounds like my energy. This sounds like what I'm definitely moving towards. No shame whatsoever. Like, yes, 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 yes. So keep an eye out for any Mother Mary signs or imagery that you may see in the next, in the next 6 months to 9 months. So the whole year, she's gonna be like a main guide for you to come into union. So maybe you might start seeing everything like named Maria or Mary or Medium or Mariam. She has so many different names. Or Our Lady of this, Our Lady of that. You'd be surprised. Like there is a street right here by my house, on both sides of my house, that is called Las Marias. So you might be called to like some street or some town or some village that has the name Maria in it. And again, it might be her little like wink wink, like she's guiding you so that you can meet your divine partner in the most, you know, beautiful. And again, it's going to be divinely guided, and it's going to unfold without you doing too much, you know. So you have Embrace. I've also never chosen this card from this deck. Here's the Flame again. Let the love in your heart be felt all around you. The universal law of attraction is working in your favor. Let your heart be open to new possibilities coming your way in love, but also all possibilities. Be a reflection of your true heart's desires. What lessons does your heart want to learn now? Let this lesson come through joy. Feel the feelings, but don't get lost in the emotions. So there's birds in this card again. Hummingbird energy, green hummingbirds. So like the color again of the heart chakra, with possibly flying angels and or fairy women. With, fairy women. They've got like leaves coming out of their head, and there's just this really beautiful energy of springtime. There's flowers, there's birds, there's the flame ablaze, right? Kind of like this one where I said there's the bird's nest, there's the bird, there's the blossoms. Spring is going to be a really important moment for you to finally see. And then the blossom card right underneath that. Okay, spring forth with new growth and new beginnings. There you go. So here's the tree again. Just like I mentioned that Mother Mary had the tree growing in her here with the flame. Here you have another tree. This one is fully with flowers in blossom. So you've done a lot of work already with your energy, with your shadows, with old stories of heartbreak and disappointment and all of it. You've even got a unicorn here on your side. It's it means like your heart and your third eye are going to be doing most of the work to, again, align you with this beautiful, beloved partner. Lifelong partner for some of you, definitely. It's like it's the time. It's the one. It's it's the one you've been dreaming of. It's the one you've been so heart open, you know, in your trajectory for, even if at other times your heart being open brought you some of the, like, what they call like false, you know, false partners or false twins, or just kind of someone that was going to be a lesson, right? And your big, beautiful, open heart then, it wasn't wrong. There was just something else that you wanted to learn and refine and perfect in order to protect the divine union that is this one. The one that comes with the birds and the bees and the flame and the fire and all of it. I'm really excited about this energy. And okay, your astrology, herbal astrology plant card is Valerian, number 44. And it says acceptance. So never gotten this card. What I can tell you is that it is ruled by Neptune. So that means there's going to be a connection, like a profound connection to the season of Pisces for you. So we're actually in Pisces right now in True Sky Astrology. Pisces is going to go to about mid-April. So really pay attention to your dreamy, like the messages that are coming in your dreams. The moon, pay attention to your emotions, especially your higher emotions, like your emotions that get filtered through your dragon heart. So it's not the heavy or the fleeting emotions. It's like the true, precise, divine emotions that communicate clearly with you, because those are the ones that are going to reveal things to you. I really don't understand the rat in this image. And again, acceptance. There's so many flowers. There's so many other flowers all around this card. So maybe, unless these are, they don't look like they're all valerian. They look like they're all different plants. So what I'm getting is valerian is kind of this gateway plant. A lot of people drink it in tea, and it should be kind of, I think it's like a relaxing, like a sedative. Let me see if I can pull it up in the book really quick. So upright, this card is about order, loosening, acceptance, embracing imperfection, persistence, and flow. Astrological ruler Neptune. And it is referenced in texts as smelly old socks. I don't know, because I guess it has a funny smell. And let's see, it's connected to the Latin valere, meaning to be strong and healthy. So valerian supports us by widening our trigger points and helping us to zoom out of a situation that might be overloading you with anxiety or stress. Remember, go easy on yourself and don't push yourself too hard to meet goals. Valerian remedies the internal parts of ourself that can embody mouse energy. Okay, so not a rat, a mouse. When we're overly analytical and judgmental in high trigger mode. This message here is to take measure. Although your foundation can be established with great order, there is a certain amount of flow needed in order to enjoy creativity and growth. Don't exhaust yourself in the details. Embrace your imperfections. So I want a clarifying energy for that message, because I'm going to pick a dragon card. Because I feel like all of the cards so far were so like utterly supportive and utterly beautiful in terms of reminding you that you've done a lot of beautiful spiritual work and that you're about to be blessed. But maybe, okay, what I'm seeing here with the Our Lady who gives peace, and then the message about like don't be in the mind and don't be overly analytical and hard on yourself. So what I'm feeling is it's just calling this like gentle, graceful energy to your field, because you don't want to be on edge when you meet your beloved. Like you want to be so relaxed that it just feels like the most easeful and essential like next step. There's nothing hard about entering this union. Everything lines up, everything makes sense. Even the imperfections are perfect. And this is where you start to really be able to drop all of the walls and the guard that you've had around your heart, because all of a sudden you don't see your imperfections as a problem. You know, you actually see that even the term imperfections is kind of ridiculous, because, you know, we are fluid beings. And when you say imperfect, it kind of has this connotation of like, you are gonna be this way forever. And again, are we fluid creator, co-creator beings? Well, then something that might be considered imperfect, a trait that might be considered imperfect, might only be with you for a cycle of time, and then you outgrow that. You quite literally, like a serpent, you shed that layer of yourself and you bring yourself closer to everything that you deserve, truly, from a soul level of like just being so divine and being so loved by the Divine Mother and the Divine Father that wants to see you in divine union. So the dragon cards that we received are, again, along the lines of let it be easeful and graceful, let it be about peace. You have tranquility, harmonious in action. So again, it's kind of this energy of like sitting, waiting, accepting. Remember, you have acceptance, embracing, you have embrace. Like, sit and watch the blossoms. Can you see all these flowers kind of falling from some beautiful pink tree? And then you had all of those flower energies, all of those blossoms. If you sit not acting, not seeking, again, maybe even just invoking Mother Mary or Mama Maria, or your version of the Divine Mother that you're comfortable with, while you watch the blossoms, while you watch the flowers attracting the bees, and while you watch the flowers bringing this whole ecosystem of like the pollination from the birds and the nest making and the baby, you know, the eggs being birthing new life. That is more than enough. That is like the most divinely aligned thing that you could do, because you know your destiny already. You know where your blessings are. They're here. They're literally, they can be tasted, they can be felt already. You can taste your partner. You can feel the touch of their hands in the dream state. Remember, again, Neptune is the ruler of your plant card, Valerian. So trust that the dream state is going to be very much a part of the inaction, because we don't have to do anything in our dreams. We just have to be there. We just have to fall asleep and trust that everything is going to align. And the last card that I want to share is the dragon called Resilience, Finding Your Limits. And this is the constellation of Sirius. And the only thing I will say about this is that it always has this energy of like, there's a little bit of frozen energy because of all of the ice here. So again, it might be that you've been frozen, or you have felt a little bit frozen in time, or frozen in the timeline while you've been doing the work, like the inner work, and it seems like it's brought on this energy of like a cold period where you haven't had you haven't had suitors, you haven't had these false twins anymore, you've been celibate probably, honestly, and it's been cold at night in your bed, and it's okay, because that allowed you to really work on your flame. Again, here's the flame again. Do you see the heart ablaze? The flame on Mother Mary coming out of the tree of life. So this is the dog star constellation, Sirius, and you are being asked to invite the Sirian collective, the Sirian star brothers and sisters into your field, because the Sirians are very connected to Mother Mary and many of the other divine goddesses of the Ma collective. And it's going to be very, very beneficial for your expansion to just invite those energies in, to see how they want to work with you, to see if they do want to eventually move you somewhere else on the grid. Maybe even it's just like for your honeymoon, or something along the lines of treating yourself after this love does come in, and taking a journey with your beloved that is something, again, like a place you've dreamed of going, a place they've dreamed of going. A really, really celebratory moment in your journey as a dragon. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one grid card from the Earth Power Oracle deck, which, again, it doesn't mean that this is the place that you're going to go. It's just, I want to give you, they have a little message on the card. So maybe it's in this part of the world. Maybe it is this place. Or maybe it's just the message that comes through on the card. Oof. Okay, so you also got two messages about peace. Where are you, Mother Mary of Peace? Our Lady who gives peace. And then you got Lake Wanaka. And it says peace, 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 peace here. Peace begins with me. I choose to be peaceful. I am peaceful. Lake Wanaka. So, if I'm not mistaken, Lake Wanaka is Australia or New Zealand. Hold on. Might be New Zealand. New Zealand. Key energies: stillness, peace, pause, mirroring. Location: New Zealand. GPS 44. You also got another 44 and 169, and you also got another 44 energy, which was the Valerian card, 44. So you're definitely working with the Sirians. The 44 or the 444 is a really important Sirian timestamp, and we have the year of 444 opening in just a few weeks. I would say by the time you are watching this, hopefully the 444 portal hasn't arrived, but April 4th, 2024 is going to be significant for you. Invite the Sirians in, make yourself a ritual with cacao, call on Mother Mary, watch the blossoms on the trees if you can, or in your garden, or even on Instagram if you need to, like get some inspiration of like that blooming energy, right? Because it's a reflection, like this says, mirroring. The blooming and the blossoming on the trees and the plants in the garden is a reflection of how you are blooming, how you are now a flower, when before you were a bud, and before that you were not even existent, you know. You were part of the tree, or you were part of the branch, but you weren't the bloom or the you know, the nectar or the pollen inside of the flower. You weren't that yet, and now you are that. So the primary element is water, and that's all I'm gonna say. Lake Wanaka, New Zealand. The number 44, the date 444, perhaps you want to join For the Waters, which is going to open on 444. So you have the water energy, you have the mirror reflection. You might actually be an oracle yourself and working with your oracling gifts and working with water most likely, which is also very, very Sirian. So 44 on the clock. When I said that, I'm just gonna end it there. You are an amazing being. We are so connected. We are family. I love you, and I will see you in the next reading. Hello, you beautiful ones that chose deck number 3. It has been a wild journey over here. I have so many decks, and there's amazing frequencies coming through for this equinox portal. I'm so glad that I was charged up at the beach today, and by the solar frequencies and an amazing, just guided day by my higher self, by my dragons, by my inner child. We're gonna see what your goddess message is. Each deck had a different goddess. Yours is the Magdalene, Maria Magdalena, from the Oracle, the Mystique of Magdalene. So just tune into your heart. I'm gonna actually have a sip of water because I have been talking for 20 minutes. All right, let's go. This is your overarching energy from the Divine Feminine stream, which is, it's beautiful that it's Magdalene. I have to say July is going to be important for you. Magdalene's feast is in July, 7/22. So that might be a significant date to just keep an open mind and an open heart if you're guided to do anything ceremonially with that frequency. So your first message from Magdalene is Stella Maris, and it says trust. So what's beautiful here is there's a mother and a daughter. So we have Miriam, Magdalene, and we have Sarah, her daughter. And they are completely glowing in blue. And they have the sky, like the cosmos above them. Obviously the stars, Stella meaning star, and Maris meaning Mary, Mary star. Mary, Mother Mary is often confused for Magdalene in this kind of Stella Maris, let's say, like storyline about where there were churches built and temples built for Mother Mary. And some say that a lot of those, or most of those, were actually in Europe, and most of them are actually dedicated to Mary Magdalene and not Mother Mary. So it's interesting because we forget that Magdalene, or we have not known that Magdalene was also a mother. So it's still Mother Mary, but it's a different frequency of Mother Mary. It's the beloved of Yeshua. It's someone that is just like 1 degree closer to us in a way, because in my opinion, just in the way that I have worked with these masters, Magdalene really came in to be a hidden figure because she knew her destiny was going to be one of like them defaming her, calling her a prostitute, taking her out of the story, or just making her like such a minute character in the grander story of Yeshua, the disciples, the apostles, the whole trajectory in Palestine of being this like light team and this divine union that needed to anchor light at a very pivotal time in Earth's history. And so what I'm getting with you is that you're a little bit of that hidden, like that hidden power or that hidden gem. But as we know, Magdalene's truths are now coming to light. The Nag Hammadi texts, all of the other gospels that have come out in our lifetime, and that we have access to these books now, these teachings, her gospel, you know, other gospels written by other apostles who are considered the ones that were there with Yeshua and Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary and all of those light workers at the time, that speak of her in a way that is so pivotal and like prominent. She is like the star in her own right of that Christ story, because she is the feminine Christ. We have Yeshua, the masculine Christ, the divine masculine figure. We have his counterpart, Mother Mary, the divine feminine counterpart figure. And then the daughter, right? So the passing on of that divine union into another feminine figure. So this might be a message about trusting that you're about to come out of the hidden, or come out of the shadow, or the dark night of the soul, and you're ready to share with the world. Like you're this is so pretty. Look at the bottom of the deck. The sacred vow, divine commitment. Like I just feel like love is in the air. Like there was another deck that had a lot of beautiful love energy, and this is also so beautiful because you don't get the divine child without this, you know, without this truly divine union and devotional, like you are equals, right? Yeshua and Magdalene were equals. And that's also something that we forget sometimes if we are in relationships where there's power dynamics. Like that doesn't feel good. That's not in alignment. We need to be equals, you know, we need to truly be partners and counterparts, what they call Yanantin in the Andean teachings and cosmology from Peru, which Yanantin means the complementary opposite. So there is a message here for some of you. If you're settling for someone that's not on your frequency, then things might need to be shaken up. You might need to sit under the stars and invoke Magdalene and truly ask your womb, right? Your waters, if this partnership is for you. So intuitively, I wanted to pick some dragon cards. We have destruction, releasing your anger. Bottom of the deck, we have the self, gathering your power. There is a lot of fire energy for you. You are a fiery, passionate being, and perhaps the anger comes from not having your match, not being with your divine match yet. And you've settled and you're comfortable, but it doesn't produce the divine child. It doesn't produce, you know, the divine commitment. Maybe there's still a little bit of like a wandering eye. Maybe it's you, maybe it's them. But that feeling of like insecurity in your relationship because at some deeper level inside, you know, you want more, you know, you're worth more. This is one of the most powerful cards in the deck. It's the dragon, it's the dragon card with the constellation of the serpent. So serpents constellation, and it's this woman ablaze. Literally her bottom half is on fire on top of this serpent dragon tail. To me, that just says like your kundalini, like your sexual energy, your divine feminine, also divine masculine energy if you're a man, like your divine masculine, powerful sexual energy that you know how to work your serpents too, is so special. Like, why kid yourself anymore? Why stay in something that is, let's just say, so the word that's coming up is it's detrimental. It's like bringing down your self-esteem to actually stay in this relationship. And with this card, the self, there's the word self-esteem. You need yourself to be number one. And you can't rely on the, I was going to say the neighbor. So it's like, would you call your beloved the neighbor? Like, it feels almost like they're a stranger already. I'm sorry if this hurts to hear. But if it's become more neighborly, more platonic, like, it's okay, you know? That's happened to all of us at some point. When you love them for who they are, but like you can't love them in a romantic way anymore. Next card, divinity. Visit the sacred place within yourself. So this is a stone circle. This is like Ireland kind of imagery, mountains, but it could be a sacred place anywhere. And obviously the card says the sacred place is in you. It's in the self. Know that you have divine source energy inside of you. That which is holy resides inside of you. Your life force, your chi, your kundalini is in you. And the card says, visit the temple inside you. When you meet it, show it to the divine temple in nature. So what's interesting about this is I feel you need to have a solo ceremony, a very sexy, in the sense of like, just explore your energy, explore your life force in somewhere sacred on the earth. It could literally just be the most divine, fiery, passionate dance session, or breath work, or kundalini practice, or yoga session where you're outside. You let your fire like rise from the lower chakras up through the dragon heart, and then from the dragon heart you take it all the way up through to the crown. Because I feel like, again, your confidence needs to be boosted by your own power, your own force, and your own perfection. So you have the card of perfection. Again, this is like worshiping your reflection, because it's not about waiting for the other person to build you up, to like romanticize you. Like, romanticize yourself first, and don't expect somebody else to do that for you every time you feel juicy, or every time you feel like fiery. Use that fire to create. Use that fire to destroy what no longer needs to be in your life consciously. Destroy even the parts of you that have let yourself in the past. It may be even just echoes from other relationships where they didn't meet you and you lost your confidence or your mojo, and then you kind of went through a cycle of not being able to create, not wanting to create, being okay with just being like a worker bee in somebody else's reality, and you've stopped being the creator, goddess, or god that you are. And it says, behold, you are beautiful and perfect. Everything is in perfect divine flow. You know that you are beautiful and special. You are a unique imprint of the mystery of creation. No one else is like you. You are perfect in every way. You walk in divine perfection. You hold the wisdom to all life's questions inside of you. Pretty much sums up your message. I'm gonna pick one final card. Magdalene was a little bit tough on you, I guess, because tough love is maybe at this point the only thing that will help you see clearly your value, like how truly beautiful you are, and that you deserve the life, and you deserve the right now, the reality that it lives in your heart and your soul and your sacral, and to root those prayers into the earth in the next 3 to 6 months. Truly spend some time with the earth outside and see how the earth and all of the dragons, all of the earth dragons, all of the trees can support you so that you can dream. You got the poppy card. Poppy says dream. Associated with California, where I'm recording this, so maybe there's a California dream that you have, or maybe you just need to work with the root chakra of our planet, which is Mount Shasta in Northern California. So you need to open yourself to receive like more support from the spiritual realms, because maybe you haven't been receiving the support from the counterpart, right? The partner, or if you're single, maybe you haven't received in another past relationship, you haven't fully felt that support from a beloved. And so what you're being invited to do is dream with the earth, dream with the plant realm, dream with the tree beings, and have them support you. because they're powerful and they're here for that. Like they're truly just waiting for us to show up and be like, okay, what can we do together? Like, can I hold ceremony with you? Can I sleep under your beautiful, like, you know, trees? Can I like take a walk in the forest and then like burst into dance because I have a playlist going that is so fiery, and I can move with this energy, right? This power and this beauty and this sensuality and sexuality, and I can feel alive, and I can regain like full clarity about my next steps of how to just align deeper with what's coming for me. Deer of Delta, so you might want to work with like very soft guides, maybe like forest spirits of a gentle nature, like the deer, or maybe specific birds that are very gentle, like the dove, or like white animals that you find just bring you a sense of peace. Yeah, white dove, a deer energy. In Avalon lore, we have the white stag, which is this beautiful, like, mystical, magical creature that's often connected with Christ consciousness. So maybe connecting with the white energy, and you're the only deck that got the white light oracle, and I picked 2 cards for you, and the second one is Oracle of Chaldea, which I want to actually read a little bit of it because I've never picked this card before. This is a newer deck for me. I want to just give you one little message. Okay. I'll just read the introduction. Continue on your healing journey with enthusiasm, but without forcing things to happen more quickly than feels natural. Sometimes the body will be ready to let go whilst the mind is still holding on. At other times, the mind may need to be patient as the body processes an experience. Trust in your own timing and rhythm. There's no need to be impatient or to judge yourself. You are summoning the spiritual fortitude to tackle an issue which has previously held you back. When the time is right, the healing shall happen more easily than if you tried to push forward prematurely. Things are going to work out. Be positive. What I'm getting from this card is that energy of like, don't force an ending, like walk, like take your natural steps and follow your dragon heart and the guidance from nature and the mother, like the divine feminine, and walk your path and see what falls away, even if it's the partner that you're with. And if it's not a person that you're with that you need to separate from, maybe it's the job, maybe it's the location, maybe it's the aspect of you that is just pulling you down, like the shadow aspect of you that wants to keep you small, the part of you that just is like that little devil on your shoulder, constantly flooding you with challenge, or kind of steering you into lower thought forms and vibrations. And that shadow part of you can only stick around if you are doing certain things or vibrating in certain frequencies, or you're in spaces with other people that vibrate at a certain frequency. And once you either shift gears, change location, remove things from your life, remove things from your diet, remove things from your everyday life. So maybe it's stop watching so much TV. Maybe it's stop listening to music that doesn't uplift you. If you're listening to like depressing love music instead of uplifting love music, or uplifting dance music, or sensual, or, you know, like earth connected and inspired dance music that makes you just feel alive, then then please do that. Like, let those things go, because you're going to create the space for the divine timing of whatever it is that needs to exit your life, and make space, truly make space for what you're worthy of, because you're so worthy. Like, you are loved, and you're a bright light, and apparently you're like a powerhouse in the lower chakra. So I would love to see how this reading resonated. Comment, share with me. I might include some playlists for you, because I have some pretty epic Spotify playlists that I use in my dragon embodiment and the ceremonies and such. And I feel, of all, you are really guided to do the embodiment piece first, and then move into like the dream and the softer, kind of gentler, white meditative guides and like nature spirits connection. So that kind of feels like the order of steps to take. And then just gently, you know, trusting yourself, not forcing. Like, it doesn't have to be ripping off a band-aid. I know some people like that quick, you know. But why does the undoing have to be so quick if the coming together wasn't quick? You know, honor the timing that feels right for you. Honor the person that's been a part of your life, or the place that's been a part of your life, or the chapter of your life that has made you the person that you are up until this point. For some of you, I'm hearing, again, as a last message, it might be about leaving your hometown, finally. Like, you've had a dream. Talk about a fucking California dream, because I'm about to leave California and never return in the same way again. Because I've been dreaming my whole adult life, maybe even my adolescent life, about living out there in the world. Constantly moving, changing, so that I can take my frequencies, my teachings, my energy, my aha moments all over the world. And so I can start meeting with all of you beautiful people in person, and doing these things in person, and connecting on the path out there in the world. So some of you need to answer that dream of, you know, you're too big for where you grew up. You're too big for where you've been living your life. You've outgrown it. That's a good thing. Like, it's hard sometimes to let go of a place that has so many memories for you, or has so much of your story written in it. But imagine that that's only chapter 1. Whatever age you are, imagine that however many years you've spent in this one place, that's chapter 1 of your book. And as soon as you arrive to the next place, chapter 2 begins. And then you can get, you know, you can see that there is a possibility for 20 chapters, 15 chapters, you know, epic experiences and beautiful growth and fulfillment of your dreams, fulfillment of the self, right? Once you take that first step to leave. That is your reading. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all, and I honor you at this time. Dragons, we're doing this. We're out here. I love you. If you feel called to book a private reading, I have them on sale for just a couple more weeks. And then in April, my prices will change as I move out there into the greater world, and my offerings they're just gonna change. Like, there's gonna be more devotional, like someone that truly wants to go deep with me. There's going to be more opportunities for that than just a one-off reading. So let's say right now, everything that is on the website, it's going to shift a little in a couple of weeks time. So if you want to book something now, book it now. And even if we do the reading in April or May, there's some space in March, but if we do the reading later on, you get the price that's on there right now. So lock that in if that feels true for you. I do really, really extensive and profound oracle healing activations. Like, it's more than just receiving messages. It's a whole session. It's a whole devotional exchange, and I love doing it. And I bring in the grid where you're located and all of the divine guides that want to come in for your specific frequency. So all of that information will be linked. And blessed equinox to all of you out there. Mwah, I love you so much, and I will see you soon.